I thought I would be cool and just, the stage wasn't high. I was like, I'm going to jump up here real quick, 27, athletic. I try to jump on stage, trip, hit my shin in front of the whole, literally, whole auditorium, all the kids. And I was just like, this is just great. And that's what I get, trying to be cool,
When has that ever worked is my thought. When have you ever seen that happen? On a movie, this is going to be successful. Let me go for it. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Student Success Podcast brought to you by Inquire Higher. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today with us, we have Andre Scott. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's just get right into it. Our first question we like to ask all of our guests is to describe yourself. How would you describe yourself? This is your moment to boast. Go for it.
I'm just a guy. I'm a typical. I enjoy, most things, working out, hanging out with family and friends. Obviously, I've had more time to spend with family since, we've been in quarantine. But I like going out to restaurants. I like new movies. I like binge watching TV shows. Usual stuff. I've become an avid golfer, so I've gotten into that the last few summers. So I'm glad the weather is finally breaking, so I can get back out on the grass and just have some time outside again. But yeah, typical stuff: family, friends, food. Being active when possible, and yeah, I just like to be outside and enjoy life.
Dope. I love that. It's I'm just a regular guy. I like getting out, right? COVID's almost over. We promise you'll be able to get out soon. Hopefully some things will return back to normal. All right. So take us into your childhood a little bit. Not everyone's childhood looks the same. Talk about what that looked like for you, and if you had any support growing up.
Gotcha. So for me, growing up, I grew up in a single parent home. I had my mom, my older sister, and then my grandmother was always very close. My grandmother lived right next door when we grew up. So it was always the four of us. And we worked hard. My mom worked hard to put my sister and I in positions to be successful. We were lucky enough to attend a Catholic school, a private school when we were in elementary school. We both were awarded scholarships to go to Ignatius, which was a huge blessing. Coming from a single parent home and having two kids at Ignatius was impossible. We would not have been there if we did not have scholarships, if we didn't have financial aid. So just being able to be in that space was a blessing. But my work ethic, my drive, my dedication, that all came from my mom. I saw her make a lot of sacrifices and, just work herself to the bone to make sure that my sister and I had what we needed. And I adopted that same work ethic. There were times where, food was scarce and, we didn't have heat or, there were no birthdays and Christmases and things like that, but we always had each other. And that's what's important. That's what's important. You realize growing up, a lot of the things that you go through that you might have thought were tough, they were tough and they were hard, but they built character. They made me who I am. They made me stronger. They made me more appreciative for the things I have. And, for the sacrifices that I realized were made for me to be in the position that I am today. So, my upbringing, was it difficult? Yeah. But everyone has challenges. Everyone goes through things, but I appreciate every struggle, every bump, every, roadblock, whatever synonym you want to use. Every one of those things got me to where I am today. So I wouldn't have had it any other way.
That's dope. And first off, applaud to your mom and your grandmother. I come from a single parent household as well, and sending two kids to private school is not an easy thing. So hats off to her and your grandmother as well. Yeah. So I love how you said that basically your adversity built who you are today and it made you stronger, and you're not dwelling on those those things that happened, right? You kind of, we'll talk about this a little bit later, actually coming up really soon, but I actually, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about what you're doing now. And you can kind of talk about how your childhood kind of shaped what you're doing today and how you're, helping the youth. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I mean, yeah, going to school was my mom was saying, like, going to school, that's your job. You and your sister, your jobs are to go to school, get good grades, handle your classwork, be strong, be good people, be strong students. Like, that's all I want you to do. So education wasn't an option. Like, that was what we were supposed to do. So like, we came in, I had a routine every day. I had to do homework at a certain time every day, had to make sure I was ready for school by a certain time that evening. And I had a lot of routines and habits that I built that helped me, be successful. Obviously went to high school, made it through, went to college and all of that stuff. But education was always something that my mom drove home. She made sure we understood the importance of education and how important it is, to have a solid foundation. And, to know something. You got to know something in this world. So, fast forward to me deciding to go into education. Honestly, I never thought that I would be a teacher. I taught for, a few years before I got into my current role in learning design. And it just kind of happened. It happened upon me. I graduated from college. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I had been in a job where I worked with kids, and I had experience, working after school programs, volunteering with, different summer camps and YMCAs and stuff like that through college. But I had never, looked at it as more than just summer job, volunteer here and there. I got a job as a youth development specialist, which is, almost like a fancy way of being a teacher's aide at a charter school. And I loved it. I loved working with the kids every day. I was in a fifth grade class, and I was in a fourth grade class and a fifth grade class, and they were crazy. They were crazy, but a good crazy. Like, they kept you on your toes. It was exciting every day, and every day was different. I ended up working with the teacher closely. Found out, I had a chat with the principal. He was like, "Oh yeah, you might want to look in education. Seems like something you're good at." One thing led to another. Fast forward like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm interviewing for graduate school to be a teacher. And it just happened. I was like, we had a few conversations. I was like, "Yeah, man, you should apply, blah, blah, blah." I wasn't sure about applying. I didn't know if it was what I wanted to do. I was like, we'll see. I knew I wanted to go to graduate school. I was like, what's an interview? It won't hurt. I did the interview. I was admitted. I went to UFC for grad school, did the teaching program there. And I came out and I taught, and I loved it. I loved it. Like, I love the work of working with children, working with young people. And when I was in school, I always thought, I'll be like a second, third grade teacher. I like them early, 7, 8, they're really young. They're more fun, more, it's a lot more that they need to learn at that age. I was thrown into a fifth grade class, and it was probably the best thing that happened to me. Like, I had 10, 11-year-olds, and they were just great. They were great. Like, every day was something different. Every day they brought, their personalities themselves. They brought things from home. They brought things from their communities. And it just taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It really helped me appreciate, one, the upbringing that I had. And it really wanted to make me go even harder for them. Like, I had kids who had difficult living situations at home. I had kids, who had witnessed things that a 10-year-old shouldn't have witnessed. And they brought that with them every day. They brought it with them every day. And that was the one thing I appreciated about being in the classroom, was you get to try every day. Like, if Monday sucked, guess what? We back at it again Tuesday, 8 a.m. And if Tuesday sucked, we got Wednesday. And no matter what, you just always got another opportunity. And that was something that I really, really appreciated. And that's what kept me coming back, just knowing I got every day to have these kids and to be in front of them and to show them that you can be a Black kid from the South Side of Chicago. The school I taught at was a mile away from where I grew up, like literally a straight mile. Like, I knew the community, I knew the people. And I told them, like, man, I grew up, I played basketball at this park. Like, I walked to this store. Like, I know exactly what you all are going through and seeing. Like, it was the same thing when I was a kid. And it was just amazing for me to have that experience and share it with them and let them know, like, you can grow up on Cottage, right off Cottage or right around Cottage Grove, and you can go to, you can go to private high schools and, good colleges and good graduate schools. Everything you want is within arm's reach. You just have to go get it. But I got into the work because it was rewarding. Like seeing how important education is and how much our Black and brown kids need it and how much they are denied and not given access to. That's what made me get into the work. Like I realized how much, and you know how much we got at Ignatius. You saw the level of rigor and the things that we were taught and the challenges that we were given. And I saw that my kids were not going to be prepared for that level of rigor. They were not being taught those things. The playing field is not even, it's not leveled. They were not given the resources nor the access to the things that they need to be successful in the world that we live in. So I'm in education because I want to make sure they have that access. I want to make sure they see not all their teachers are going to be, people that don't look like them. Mm-hmm. I'm a big brother. I'm an uncle. Like I look like people in their families. I want them to know, like, yeah, man, we're all the same and we can all get this together. So that's why I got into the work, and that's why I'm still in the work. Like, we got to give our kids access. We got to put them in a position to succeed.
1000%. Definitely like-minded here for sure. I am on the same team as you. I love that you spoke about, being a Black male teacher, and literally giving back to your community that you grew up in. I think that's amazing that you have that relatable relationship with the students that you're helping and that you taught. I love how you just skipped over going to UFC really quickly. Like that was easy. Can we rewind that back if anyone needs to do so? Yeah. UFC, where is UFC this year? UFC is at number 3 this year. How did you just interview and just get in? That's my question. Can we go back to that?
Yeah, I guess I kind of made it seem like it was, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I sent them a letter, said I want to go. So I worked at a UFC network charter school. With the school I was working at was a UFC network charter school, and I had been doing good work. Some people had been noticing my work. They had noticed, like, yo, Andre will probably be a great teacher. Like, we should try to get him to be a teacher. At the time, the director of the network, he is a member of the same fraternity I'm in, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He and I had to sit down. He was like, yo, if there's something you want to do, like, let me know. Like, we can talk about this. Applications are open right now for graduate school. Like, if you want to do this, then let's do it. I came back home. I thought about it. I was like, like I said, might as well try. So I did the whole application process. The interview for graduate school was it was a full day. It was an 8-hour interview. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was like, this graduate school to be a teacher. Like, I need to be here for 8 hours. So I had to do 3 different lesson plans. I had to do a sample teaching example. Obviously submit all the paperwork, the transcripts, and all that other good stuff. But the interview for graduate school was probably one of the longest days of my life. And I interviewed. I had to wait a few weeks. I had to take a couple tests. Obviously, you have to be a teacher in Illinois, you have to have certain certifications. I did those things, and I waited, got my acceptance. And at first, I was going to defer because I wasn't even sure if it was what I wanted to do. I was going to defer for a year. And my mom and sister was like, why would you defer? Like, you did this because at the time, like, I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but I was nervous. I was afraid to go. I had been out of school for just over a year. I wasn't sure if I was ready to go back. UFC was like, at that point, it was UFC. Like, it was a big, grandiose place. I had no clue if I would make it. I was honestly scared. I was scared to go because I didn't know if I would succeed. Had the conversation with my family. You should go. I accepted, and then I started school. So I literally, I snuck in. I got in in the last wave of interviews. I got my application in I think 2 or 3 days before the deadline. And when I went into the interview, I was myself. I had my lessons ready. I ran my lessons by the teacher that I was working with at the time. I got some feedback from him, and that was that, and it worked out. But yeah, UFC was I mean, it still is a great place. I learned a lot. I had a great student teaching experience there. I taught at two different schools during my final year of the program, and I learned a lot. And I appreciate the fact that it put me in the space to be prepared. Like they literally put me in the field. Like you cannot learn how to work with kids from a book. I believe like you can only get so much from books, from TED Talks, from presentations. Like you got to be in the field. You have to be in the classroom. You got to be in the space with the kids. You got to be in the building with them, and that's the best way to learn. And my last year of graduate school, I was at Earl STEM Academy on 62nd and Damon, which was an experience in itself. I started there the fall right after Ron had shut down the 50 schools. So my school was a welcoming school, and that was a mess, and that was a lot of craziness. Just seeing that dynamic. You have people who are upset because their school's closed, and got these new families transitioning in, and I'm just there like wet behind the ears, like, what am I doing here? How am I supposed to make this work?
Right.
In the class of third graders who had no clue what was going on. Some were just, they were like, oh, I'm going to a new school, whatever. It was a lot. In my second school, I was on the west side by the United Center at a Learn charter school, but that's the best experience I've had. Just I learned so much, and I was able to, like I said, just really just dive in head first and experience teaching and learning and working from very different sides of the city, just different practices, different people, and experience is the best teacher. And I was able to get a really good experience.
For sure. Wow. All right, Andre. So tell us, what advice would you give to students who may be experiencing challenges at home, at school, just in their environment? What advice would you give to them to overcome any obstacles?
You got to find what you want. You got to find your pot of gold at the end. You got to find, whatever it is you're working toward, and just go. Like there'll be plenty of challenges throughout life. Like no matter what phase you're in, no matter what age, elementary school, high school, college, adult, like there are going to be challenges throughout life. You just got to find what you're going for in that moment in time and go for it. Bumps and bruises, you can't be afraid to get knocked down. And I know that's super cliche, but that's life. Like you're going to get knocked down, and you have to keep getting up and keep moving forward. And that's how you get through. Like you find the will and the drive to keep going. Even when you feel like all the cards are stacked against you, you get up and you push and you push, and you don't take no for an answer. You don't stop. You don't settle. You gotta be ready to run through a wall, pretty much. Like you just don't give up. You don't quit.
Excellent advice. Adulthood can hit you pretty hard too. So just keep going, push through it, and remember your why. That was a really good tip there. So tell us a little bit about learning design. I'm curious as to what you do. Tell us about it, and then tell us what a typical day looks like for you.
Okay. So with my current role, we work with schools around the city, public and charter. Pre-pandemic, we did push-in services. So I would go into schools Monday through Thursday, offer math and reading supports, curriculum supports to students. We have a Saturday program which meets twice a month, where we offer a business, justice, and advising curriculum. So a typical day in learning design for me is now in the pandemic, like obviously, you have meetings for work, you go through the meetings, but I do a lot of planning. Right now, we're actually getting geared up for our summer program, and I'm going to be planning a course for 7th grade real estate and 8th grade design thinking. So, yeah, I know.
7th grade real estate?
7th grade real estate. So I'm currently doing a real estate course with my 7th graders now virtually. It's challenging, obviously, doing any type of curriculum teaching on a computer is a challenge. So right now we're doing a course where we're walking through how we will potentially flip a property. So we did neighborhood canvases. We did like neighborhood explorations throughout the city. I found recordings of different neighborhoods in the city. We used Zillow, Redfin, Realtor to look up multi-unit homes and single family homes that were for sale in the city. we put together a plan of like what a remodel would look like. And this coming Saturday, next weekend, actually, we're going to do a virtual remodel of a home. So we're just going through the process of what it would look like to find a space, what neighborhood factors impact price, what internal factors of the home would impact price, and how we could potentially turn an investment into a flip and generate wealth and income from it. So it is a lot to do. It sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's way more detailed, when I plan it out. And we're going to do the same thing this summer with our incoming seventh graders, make it more detailed, more personable, different neighborhoods in the city, finding multi-unit properties, finding single family homes. But it's a lot, but it's a spin from teaching because it goes away from, from the basic, math, reading, science, social studies curriculums. And it, like I said, it's access. It puts students in front of different things. We had students do marketing campaigns for Sean Michelle's ice cream shop. We had students set up lemonade stands in Hyde Park last year and did marketing campaigns to see who can sell the most lemonade. So we're just doing different things that expose our students to how they can generate wealth and income in different spaces, but also just showing them like you can go into business. You don't have to be a banker or an engineer. You can go into business for yourself. If you want to be a real estate investor, if you want to be an interior designer, like there are all types of fields and things to get into as a young person. So we're just trying to, give them little tastes of what those things are now, and then maybe down the line and maybe something they want to get into down the road.
I love that you guys are giving them that exposure and experience so early. When we hear of real estate classes, those don't happen until after college, right?
You're an adult until you're
an adult, right? So if you're planting those seeds so early, they can already start thinking about how they're going to move through life. I love that. That's amazing. 7th grade. I'm still amazed. I'm sorry.
It is a work in progress. All the kinks are not ironed out, but I think I know for a fact that the work that we're doing is great work. Like you said, it's about the access and the exposure. And just speaking frankly, a lot of young people that come from Black and brown communities don't learn about real estate until adulthood. Like I grew up in apartments. Like we didn't own anything, so it's difficult to talk about ownership and what it means to like own a property and own a space. Because so many of our young people don't have that experience and they don't live that. That's not what they're living. So like you said, just giving them the exposure and introducing this to them is just as important as them learning about it, 10, 20 years from now. The early exposure is better. So we're hoping that it plays a role down the line. But yeah, like you said, just getting their beaks wet, letting them find out what's out here, and they'll figure it out down the line what they want to do.
Oh, for sure. That's awesome. All right. So what advice would you give to your childhood self or other Black students? I mean, you're already giving out advice, you're a teacher, but if there was one other piece that you could give to either yourself as a young child or other Black students, what would it be?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself.
That's a good one.
I mean, and again, like, how it was at Ignatius. Like it was, if you didn't have
it was tough.
It was tough. And I remember like being upset. Like I was a great student in elementary school. Like I would just go to school. School was easy. And I got to Ignatius and I was humbled because I had bad study habits. And I just thought it would be a cakewalk like it was, in 7th and 8th grade. And I was super hard on myself, but I realized like I just had to grow. So it's not about, beating yourself up for not succeeding or not doing as well as you want, but it's about realizing what you need to change in order to get the results you want. And that goes for any level, any transition. Like, don't be hard on yourself. Like, you learn, you grow, and then you make the change. You make the change, you find out what you need to fix, and then you fix it. But life is full of people that are going to judge you, make comments about you, and be hard on you for things that you don't even realize that they're being hard on you for. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a chance to make a mistake, to fix it, to be better, to learn, and to have an experience and grow from it. And that's something I wish I had known in high school. Like when I was struggling academically, even when I got to college and I struggled academically, like even professionally struggling, like, like not knowing how to be the best teacher and not knowing how, to be the best like leader for my kids. Like, you don't know how to do anything until you do it. You don't know, until you actually go through it, until you have some experience with it, you don't know exactly how to do it. And like I said, you can only learn so much from a book, but give yourself grace because the world will not. Give yourself grace.
I love that. Give yourself grace and don't be too hard on yourself. So piggybacking off of that, this is a new question we started asking folks. How would you define success? When you're younger, you have this thought of what success is, right? Like the big fancy car, the big house, I'm going to be a millionaire. Those are all wonderful and fantastic. I love that. But just knowing that it's a marathon, it's a journey. How would you define success?
Success is happiness. Success is waking up every day, not every day, because every day isn't great, but success is waking up most days and it's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go whatever your work is, whatever your profession is. Success is about, I don't think it's about just having success professionally. Success is like having a happy life. Success is having a work-life balance. Like, I don't want to be a person that's, on my laptop for 15 hours a day and meetings all day and planning all day. Like I want to be able to have time with my family. I want to be able, like I said, to be outside. Success is having that balance, and being able to define what makes you happy. Because some people may want to be in front of their laptop. Like happiness may be, being in front of a laptop and creating and making videos or films or whatever. And like that could be success for them. But success is how you define your happiness, how you define your peace, how you define how you feel at the end of every day. Like if I can wake up and I can see my kids and I can, we can figure out how to divide fractions and check with our multiplication and we knocked it out the park, then yes, today was a successful day because we can do long division and we are fact fluent in multiplication. Like that is great. And I'm able to sit back and say, I feel confidently that my students are growing, then yeah, that's what success is. It's about, you define your success. You define what makes you happy. You define how you feel and how you feel at the end of every day and how you grow each day.
I love that. Success is balance and your happiness, how you define happiness.
Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
No, that definitely made sense. I think those are wise words. We need to get like some type of plaque or something going. I love that. That's a great one. All right, so let's switch gears to the fun questions. All right, apparently none of these questions are off limits. I can ask whatever I want to. Ooh, look, I'm a real interviewer. All right, here we go. So what's the number one rite of passage that you think all college students should go through? It could be losing your keys. It could be, I don't know, walking to the wrong class. What's the number one rite of passage?
And this is terrible advice for aspiring students. But I mean, sometimes you just got to kick it. You just got to have fun. Like there were plenty of days. Where I should have been in class and it was the first nice spring day of the semester. And I was like, we're going to chill on the quad today.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I don't want to advocate, not going to class or, throwing off responsibilities. But I think the rite of passage that every college student should have is like, you gotta have fun. You gotta have a solid group of people that, that you can kick it with safely and responsibly. But you can't be afraid to let loose. Like college is a place where you go most of the time, you get away from home, you have experiences away from, your close family and all the people that you went to elementary, high school with, but have fun. Like, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to travel and go places. Like college, have fun. Like try, like, even if you want to be safe and like, I want to try a new class. Yeah, sign up for it. Take ice skating, take basketball 1-on-1. Like just do something different, like experience things, do things differently. And just most importantly, like find yourself. That's the rite of passage, man. You gotta have fun. You gotta have however you define fun, go do that. Do it safely, do it responsibly, but have fun.
I'm not going to say what college you went to for undergrad. We're going to leave that one alone. You can probably look it up. It's a large campus, and there's a lot going on. There are a lot of
lot
experiences there.
of
No, no, I agree with you. You should definitely have fun because after college, whew, that's when it gets real. That's when
it comes too fast.
It really does. Yeah. All right. So what's one embarrassing thing that has happened to you during your school career that you would like to share at least?
Oh man. I'm trying to think like any bad teaching moments. Oh yeah. So I think this is my second or third year teaching. We're having, all school assembly, like it was like end of semester awards, like, honor roll, perfect attendance, all that stuff. Every teacher is called up to the stage, give out their awards, all that, Mr. Scott, room 218, please come up. At the time, there was something on the podium, on the stage by the steps. I thought I would be cool and the stage wasn't high. I was like, I'm gonna jump up here real quick, 27, athletic. I try to jump on stage, trip, hit my shin in front of the literally whole auditorium, all the kids. And I was just like, this is just great. Like, and that's what I get, trying to be cool,
When has that ever worked? Is my thought. Like, when have you ever seen that happen? Like on a movie, this is going to be successful. Let me go for it.
I had never even tried it. So I was like, why would I walk down the middle of the auditorium on this day and say, I'm just going to hop up on stage? Like, not even try to wiggle around what they have by the steps. I was like, I'm cool. I'm just going to hop up.
My goodness.
Hit my shin.
Ooh.
My kids did not let that go. And rightfully so.
That's good.
Rightfully
That's good. That's on you. Man.
That was definitely on me. So yeah, I had a sore shin for a couple of days. And safe to say, I just took the stairs every time after that. I made sure I found my way to those stairs. There was no more hopping. I never jumped down nor tried to hop up. Like I'm not going to embarrass myself again. Took the stairs. Yeah. So
man, whew.
Take the stairs, guys. Take the stairs. Don't try to be cool. Just
don't try to be cool.
Yeah.
Support's more important. Safety support.
It was bad, but what can you do?
All right. Well, at least you made the students' day, at least. All right. So what are 3 famous people you would invite to a cookout pre-COVID? Living or not?
3 famous. I'm gonna say one of them because I know you interviewed some of my buddies from Ignatius.
Yeah.
So I'm going. The first person I'll be is one of my favorite basketball players, Tracy Mcgrady. One of my favorites. So that's from my Ignatius buddies. When you all hear this, so Tracy Mcgrady is one. This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody funny, so I'm going to say Bernie Mac, Chicago legend. We're getting Bernie Mac. I want to have some jokes. I want to have somebody that's going to, just going to keep the party going.
You're not going to be able to eat because he'll just keep throwing jokes.
Laughing. And lastly, maybe somebody for entertainment. Somebody for entertainment. I don't know. Give me a great rapper. You can give me B.I.G., give me Jay-Z, somebody to just come, give us some good music, keep the party going. And yeah, that would be a pretty chill dinner. Yeah.
For sure. Jay-Z, then you can relax.
And one of my favorite basketball players. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Perfect. All right. If you had to give up bread, rice, pasta, or potatoes, which one could you live without?
Rice, no question.
Rice?
Yeah,
Who are you?
No question. The other 3 are way too versatile. You can do like pasta, too many variations. Like pasta, you can have so many types of pasta.
Nope.
Bread. I need bagels. Nope. I need toast. I like sandwiches. Potatoes. Like, come on.
Potatoes are awesome.
Fries, like scalloped potatoes. Like potatoes alone. Potatoes are top 2 and it's not 2. So I like rice. I like rice. Like I like. You
can live without rice.
I can live without rice.
You are not Caribbean or African.
I had jerk chicken last night with some banging rice and peas.
Rice and peas, yes.
Banging, and I'm going to eat the rest. I'm going to eat the rest today. I'm going to enjoy it. But if I had to give up one, I would probably. Now you're making me think.
Oof, that's horrible.
I would give up rice. I would give up rice.
At least you can live without something, because I that's a hard list to try.
Pasta.
Bread?
Pasta is a close second. Pasta is you can do a lot with pasta.
You can do everything with pasta. Pasta's a staple.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
All right. Well, without rice, I suppose.
Sorry, I let you down.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. Gave up on rice. Woo. All right. Enjoy the rest of the jerk chicken and the rice and peas, though. Please.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you so much for being here today, Andre. We really enjoyed your insight and your story and the funny things that have happened to you and all that good stuff. We will make sure we leave where to find you in the description.
Okay.
And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. All right. Until next time, everyone. Peace.